even though I'm still working with the new timing, so I'm not sure if that perfectly coincides with the beginning. Here to chat about tonight's episode of Suits. And in the corner here, you see Shana and oh my goodness. Do we have a Suits episode to discuss, or do we have a Suits episode to discuss? I know Shane and I have been kind of going crazy about this week's Suits episode. Saw a lot of theories going around today. Shayna, I'm just gonna toss it to you for your initial thoughts, initial ratings. Where are you at with tonight's episode of We're Gonna Get to Pearson, but starting with Suits?
I give it a. The painting was 612, right? So I give it a 612 for the throwback. Um, yeah, that's my overall everything. That one scene gave me my life. Um,
Now, I
we
know that
love a parallel.
I know the painting episode has been your favorite for a while now. Is there a new favorite episode? Did tonight top it, or is it in the same league, or would you rate it truly on a scale from 1 to 5? Would you give tonight a 5?
Well, yeah, I would give it a 5 for sure. As far as replacing or comparing, um, I cannot make that choice between my two children. Um, you've got mommy issues, Harvey, and you've got work maturity, Harvey, and they are both intertwined people, but also different people. And the earlier episode dealt with one, and tonight dealt with the other. Um,
Let's
so yeah.
talk about that a little bit. So, you brought up this whole mommy and daddy issues thing that was going on, and that definitely became a bit of a theme tonight. And actually, that's a theme we can cross over to kind of what we saw with Pearson as well. But staying in Suits land here for a second, we saw a pretty strong theme of mother father things coming up. So, Harvey is next week going to be, or not next week, I guess in 2 weeks, going to be going on a Find Your Father road trip with Samantha. We saw Donna mentioning this idea of figuring out, what a mother would do to protect a child, sort of thing. We had them mentioning that they, or Harvey, but they will be planning a baby shower. We had Harvey and Donna talking about sort of ethics and what parents do for their kids. Did you feel they were pretty heavy
Mm.
handed with the foreshadowing tonight, or was that just me?
I have been part of a small yet dedicated and proven to be powerful in other fandoms conversation about speaking a Darby child into existence. I only see what I want to see. So what I see is that all this baby shower talk, Harvey's going to think about babies, and Donna already has had to raise Harvey, so she clearly already knows about babies, um, and where they come from. Uh, and yeah, I mean, the show has always been about family. I think particularly they're looking more at. Actually, no, I think it's again a good balance of both types of family this season.
Yeah.
Um, but I would
Both the
just like to
work family
say,
and this idea of your actual family. It's interesting to see that showing up with Sam as well, as she's
hmm
struggling with this idea of a work family. She's struggling with this idea of what her adopted family was and was not. And now she's going off in search of her biological family as well, which is interesting. So they're really playing with this idea of multiple families. Uh, I will at this point tie it back to Pearson.
hmm
I felt like Pearson as well tonight, but we've seen this throughout all of season 1, was playing with this idea of multiple families. In the case of the mayor, in some ways more ethical than others. What do you think
ugh.
of that in Pearson, especially contrasted to Suits, which has these long term families already built?
I think for me, I like seeing that other side of Jessica. Speaking about babies, I love seeing her with her cousin's kids.
Ooh, wasn't
That
that
was
adorable?
just pure sugar. Like, I think I got a cavity from it. I have to call my dentist, but like, that was amazing. It rubbed me the wrong way when Jeff tried to legitimize one type of family over another.
Yeah.
And when he tried to talk timeline with it as well,
Mm-hmm.
it's not the message that the Suits tradition has set up for us. It's not the character for Jessica that we know because like full shade intended, but like he wants to talk about these people have been Jessica's family for 15 minutes. Like he was dating her for 15 seconds when he kind of
Mm-hmm.
wanted to be the end all be all over the firm that she built from the ground up and went through some shit to put her name first. And, this family that she created around her there had been around for at least 12 years, I guess, given that Harvey and Donna came over from the DA's office and etc. So he has nowhere to
Jeff
talk. It's
Malone
not
has
the
been
amount of
rubbing me the
time,
wrong
it's,
way for a
you
long
know,
time since he very, very first showed up. He now I kind of get why they have him come in with such an air of, confidence and authority and run the room type of whatever, because if he's going to be Jessica's partner, he's going to have to be a pretty strong person. And I think that's what they're going for. With him, I'm not so I can see why he and Jessica would be romantically interacting, what they would see in each other, basically. I mean, I can see what anybody would see in Jessica. I too see the same things in Jessica. Please interact with me also, Jessica. However, when it comes to creating them as sort of a viable romance, I don't love it, but I do see it. I just don't want that to be a key story point for this show because I don't like the way
mhm.
he interacts with the plot. That's kind of my concern with Jeff. It's not that I'm trying to make everybody be a side character. Everybody's going to naturally be a side character because it's just a show. I just don't know that he has sort of a complexity to offer that, for example, some of the side characters on Suits offer. Um, that show. So that's just kind of my take there. He's
Mhm.
kind of he doesn't seem to get some of the depth of what's going on with Jessica's family, for example. Jumping back over into Suits world, and jumping back over into this discussion of side characters, what did you think about the
Mhm.
storyline for our girl Katrina tonight and this somewhat Katrina centric episode?
I think like really Craig from Degrassi just he needs to just be done after this. Like it was really kind of gross and manipulative and just unfair what he did. Like, oh, I took this case so I could see you and I miss you. Like he he's saying all the words that you say after a romantic breakup. You know, at the time. He has a baby, like, and he was supposedly happy with his wife. So Katrina, to cut him loose, and yet knowing that was difficult for her, he unloaded all that. Meanwhile, she's
Mm-hmm.
got Susan over here telling her, "Well, don't have a weak spot," which, like, bitch, everybody has a weak spot. And second of all, I mean, Katrina snapped, which our girl Amanda like killed that. By the way, everybody killed it tonight, but my fave killed it the hardest. Um, but yeah, I just it didn't. I think they felt probably with this being the last season needed a wrap up. And I like when Brian's back, even if really to say from the but he really had to be on the drugs that Craig was on when he was trying to tour with TBS if he thought that any of what was coming out of his mouth was at all productive or good. It was
Yeah, by the time I was
Not
getting to
good.
the end of what Brian had to say, by the time he had lost but was still trying to pull that whole I did all this to get close to you type of thing, that was a
Right?
true men ain't shit moment. Like that was a true
Mm-hmm.
I back in the day, back when Katrina and Brian were first just interacting and they had their cute chemistry and they had, a couple Harvey and Donna parallels, I was like, okay, this is interesting, like this isn't Harvey and Donna, but I'll take it as a compliment that they're throwing Harvey and Donna parallels in for another, ship, they kind of know where the
Mm-hmm.
gold lies. And B, Amanda Scholl is incredible. Like when they wanted the two of them to have chemistry, the two of them had chemistry. It was entertaining, it was interesting, it was fun to watch. So I was there with it. As I saw what it was doing to her character over time, I liked that they took the direction of moving her away from it. They could have
Mm-hmm.
easily done a who here remembers Rachel and Logan
Ugh.
throwback. They could have easily
Ugh.
done a Rachel and Logan, which I thought was interesting for Rachel's character, but would not have been a good fit for Katrina's character. And they didn't. They took her a route away from Brian. It was a little bit corny, it was a little bit cheesy, but it was still interesting. She did a fabulous job. So now with Brian returning, I really thought they might try to tap back into the whole chemistry they had or really make her struggle to stay firm or something like that. And really, in the end, I mean, it was gratifying, but kind of surprising how much they just made it. It was all for nothing. All the chemistry and all of the softness and the butterflies really all came from what she sold. And in the end, he was not anything special. I don't know. I loved it. Anticlimactic, but I loved it.
Mm-hmm. I can see that.
Well, jumping in the chat, Hessa said that this episode had the power of women. Loved tonight's episode. Shayna, I know you also loved all of the girl power in tonight's episode. You were commenting about Miss Sarah Rafferty's performance. Talk to me about that.
Oh my god, oh my god. So like there is this moment where okay, so no, let's go back to the beginning. Like Donna's 3,000% done. Like, what do you want, bitch? Or however she said it when she was like answering the phone. I'm like, oh, so you want me to stop my people from retaliating against your bullshit? Like, ah, there's that side of Donna that as she grew, we moved a little bit away from like the quippy, sassy, takes no prisoners.
Mm-hmm.
It was really cool to see that again. But on the flip, there is the exact kind of second where Donna's worried about Harvey and she's like, "Oh God, he's doing this stuff again. What the hell is his problem?" And then the second she realizes how much deeper it all goes for him in terms of you know, oh, this should be an easy decision because why would you do to somebody what was done to you? But then she realizes he also has the layer of guilt on top of it because he did his, I'm gonna scream at you about bullshit and shit and everything in Sam's office in full view of Faye. Like adding that layer, there was just this moment where everything just shifted from okay, I've got to fight the husband again to oh God, and the pain and uh, just pure empathy. So you've got to like, there's so many layers of empathy that have to be there to pull that off because, first of all, just as an actor, you have to put yourself in the character's shoes. But she was putting herself in Donna's shoes, putting herself in Harvey's still somewhat messy psyche, right? Like, he's come a long way, but
Mm-hmm.
he's still going to have those scars. Like, it just, I mean, I do want to talk about Mr. Gabriel as well, but I know you probably want to talk about Donna more, so I'll wait and let you supplement that as first.
Well, we can talk about Gabriel because that I know is going to tie into my next question, which
Okay.
is We did have some interesting stuff for him this week. We did have some interesting moral conflicts, some great scenes with Donna. But one of the things, not really unexpected, because I know this had been teased in advance, but we finally got the full context for, is that he's going on the road trip with Sam to go find her father. And obviously, that's not
Mhm.
just Harvey being magnanimous. Harvey has got this whole parental exploration thing clearly being woven into the story as well. What do you want to see for Harvey in this whole find your father road trip situation? Since I know you and I are on the same page where we suspect Harvey is about to become a father himself.
Yeah, I mean, it would be nice if he realizes that, I mean, he's been a parent to Mike, a little bit to a lesser extent to Rachel because she didn't need a parent, but he was still a very big mentor. Um, See, I think like with Sam, he's more big brothery, um, or even twinsy because like she's him but not.
Mm-hmm.
She's who he was when we first met him. I think at this point because she's got to work through her shit like he worked through his. We just don't have the time, which is kind of a tragedy.
Right.
Um, so I just really like to see him just keep on this journey. You know, last time I freaked out about how well written the character was and how just out of this world the actor was with what the character was going through. About 5 minutes later, we got Paula.
Mm-hmm.
And
So
that
you've
was a
been burned.
huge letdown. Yeah, so seeing him kind of come back to that place now in a different setting. And I mean, he went through, I would say, everything from those season 5 panic attack type feelings. If you looked at the scene with Lewis, before Lewis shows up, whatever's going on as he's looking at himself in that mirror, it is not good. And the deep end is coming.
Mm-hmm.
And then he has to adjust his tie and adjust himself to try to be Harvey Closer Spectre for Lewis. But then they're too close at this point, and he's progressed too much and opened up too much for for Lewis to let that go. And it doesn't take much prodding from Lewis for him to open up. And then just the painting, you know. But again, like I just want to keep that treasure. I want the character to end, which of course this is not really ending. That's a lie. But you know, I want us to finish out these 10 episodes with that guy.
Speaking
And
of it being 10 episodes, Rachel in the chat is echoing what you're saying. She says it's really sad that this is the last season, but she
ugh,
mentions she wishes they could have done a full 16 episode final season. And I kind of half and half agree there. So, on the one hand, I do wish we had a full 16 episode season to wrap out some of these storylines, especially Harvey and
mhm,
Donna's, just because I'd like to see that be as not rushed as possible, considering how much time they took to get there. But on the other hand, I know that by sticking to 10 episodes, it has forced them to go at a good pace and actually move things along and focus on the characters and their character development and not drag it out for the sake of dragging it out. So, if they
mhm,
could have done that for 16 episodes, that would have been a fabulous season. If they could have done that this whole time, that would have been fabulous. Rachel also agrees with you and I, Shana, and I know a ton of people on Twitter are saying the same thing. Rachel says Harvey and Donna are going to be parents. I quite agree. That is definitely top of the list of some of the things I expect to see, I suppose, or want to see in. My hair is terrible today. One of the things I want to see in the last few episodes. Now, we currently are on episode 6, so we only have 4 more left. Next week, they're doing a special airing of the pilot, so there won't be a new episode of Suits next week. But there will be the following week, and we'll return with that with episode 7. Shayna, what do you want to see in these last 4 episodes?
a diary baby, a diary wedding,
Mm-hmm.
diary. Um, more soft Harvey. Um, more. Hey, I've matured beyond that guy who only cared about the win.
Hmm.
Um, Donna deserves some time in pajamas, maybe her boyfriend's clothes. I think that falls into Darby though. Um, I hate to say it, but I know they're gonna go. I don't want to waste time on Sheila's baby, other
Yeah.
than Harvey throwing the baby shower. Like I
Mhm.
don't. I know they're going to because it's a big plot point, and it's big for Lewis. So I mean I care about Lewis, but I don't care, and I think that's unfortunate. Um, let's see. I think Katrina, like, really, this firm needs yet another name change. I think it needs to be Bennett, Paulson. That's it, really, since it can't be Pearson Paulson. Um, and I don't think it's happening because I haven't heard anything anywhere, and I feel like we would have by now, especially with people and their cameras. Um, but I would have liked to have seen Jessica back somehow. I would
I
like,
was
you
wondering
know,
about that. I would like to see a crossover between the shows, at least for the final couple episodes, maybe something in there, something small.
yes, um, yes. That's what I'll say about that. Pearson wise, I'll just say yes. Um,
Hmm.
yes. What else do I want? I don't want to say goodbye to these people, but if I have to, I want them to be in a good place. I
Yeah.
want them, Harvey has had, as much as he's been Mr. Successful in work, he has not had an easy time in life, in adulthood, particularly. He deserves good things. He deserves to be taken care of. He deserves to take care of somebody else, like a child. I, I everybody really except, like, this is terrible. Sheila, I don't care about, and Alex, they never gave me time to care about. It's everybody
Rachel in
but
the
them. I
chat
just
says, Shayna, I 100% agree with you. Darby baby wedding, softer Darby, and Darby officially living to her. And she comments that they do see already. She adds that she would like to see an actual phone conversation between Rachel and Donna. She would definitely like to see Jessica back, and she would love to see Jessica's reaction to Darby. You know what? I'll put that pretty high on my wish list as well. I would love to see Jessica's reaction to Darby. That was actually one of the things that historically has made me the most frustrated with Suits was Jessica leaving before she got a chance to react to Harvey and Donna's life, and before they really had a chance to be involved and supportive of her life and her family outside of work, the way they have been for Lewis, for example. I think Jessica deserved that
Mhm.
support as well and never really had it. I also do know that we are already 2 minutes overtime. So with those final thoughts, we will be wrapping up. But if you have questions, rants, all caps predictions, slight predictions, theories, anything
Mm.
like that, please definitely let us know either in the comments down below or in the description down below. I have our social media information so you come chat with us, hang out, meet all of the people theorizing about what's going to happen at the end of Suits and the end of Pearson season 1 as well. And with that, Shayna, next week we don't have a new episode. We've got a 2 week hiatus.
We should still do a thing. We could. I don't
I,
think Pearson's taking a week off. We could still
yeah,
do a Pearson thing. We
Pearson
could
is
do
taking a
a
week
look
off as
back.
well.
Is it? I missed that. Whatever.
Yeah,
Um, but we could do a look back.
we could do a look back. We'll have to think about that. So next week, what I have going on is Dragon Con. So in an
Oh,
entirely
right.
different world, I'll be
Mm.
speaking on panels about Flash, Supergirl, Cloak and Dagger, and The Gifted. So if you happen to be at Dragon Con and you happen to be interested in any of those things, you should come. And by you, I mean Shana should come. And
Can you
yeah,
say hi to Emma for me?
I would love to. I would love to.
just just show
So
her my picture with my dance shoes.
I'm very much looking forward to that. That will be my nerdy little TV time for 5 days straight. And we will see you guys in probably 2 weeks with new episodes and new stuff to discuss. So until then, feel free to come chat with us. Bye bye.